Show you the mystery of everything in the world in less than 10 minutes. Let's start with the fact that there's a place called the abyss. When it's mentioned in Revelation 9, they had a king over them, the angel of the abyss. The abyss, the pit, where the worm never dies and the fire is never quenched. Now remember, the abyss has locusts. They have tails like scorpions. Also, it says, if your eye offends you, then pluck it out, because you don't want to go to the pit or the abyss where their worm never dies and the fire is never quenched. Because there's a place called the abyss and it has locusts. There's a locust coming out of the abyss right there. It's got yellow wings, green face, and you see all the wind washing under his yellow wings coming out very quickly. Now, right here is just the hive, let's call it. And then in the hive, there are worms that never die. The Bible says, if your eye turns you upside down, if thine eye offends you, turns you upside down, then fix it. Otherwise, you'll go to the abyss, because your eye is attached to your own worm in the abyss. That's why if your eye, your angelic eye got inverted, and now you're attached to a worm in the abyss, in the pit. That's why if your eye offends you, turns you upside down, if your eye offends you, pluck it out. It's better to go to heaven with one eye than to be cast into the pit where their worm never dies, because they're attached to you through your eye. That's the way they're going to kill you. They're going to slaughter you that way, where their worm never dies and the fire's never quenched. And so that's you. And if you die before you get that situation disconnected, because see that's got a little eye like a serpent. See it like a little serpent eye right there? Because the locusts in the pit, they're referred to also as scorpions. The word scorpion means to peer about, because that worm from the abyss is peering about through your eye. That's how it peers about, to peer about. So if you don't get your own worm personally killed before you die, then your essence goes to that worm, and then it graduates into a locust. It assimilates you, because the Bible says the shapes of the locust. So your worm, once you die, it assimilates you. It says the shapes of the locusts. The word shapes means to assimilate. It assimilates angels that are caught in the beast system. Now let me show you the angel, which is you, caught in the beast system. That represents you. See the two little yellow horns on your head? There's one fetus right there with an umbilical cord. There's another fetus over there with an umbilical cord, representing two different minds. You're in the beast system. Your big slave collar is the beast, and that's the big yellow chain. Now, all you have to do is turn the beast system upside down, and you see what happens to you. So we just turn that upside down, and there you are. The angel that was you, that's attached to the abyss by one of your eyes to your own worm, has now grown up and become a locust. This is what the world's really about. Now, if you get rescued out of here, you're one of the most fortunate people that have ever lived if you get rescued out of this situation. Now, let me show you something else. So here is the Vatican. There's a huge insect, and that insect is harvesting semen. It's harvesting light beings and angels that have been converted into semen. The Bible says, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with you. It means when you cross to the other side in copulation in the semen, I will be with you. Now you see the name Apollyon right there? I put Apollyon. Apollyon rising out of the pit is an insect race, which is the serpent race. That's why all of this, everything I'm showing you, takes place inside of the Vatican, which is a big serpent. So it shows what's going to happen to you just for being in the flesh. This is what happens to you. You're in their beast system, double-minded. Their goal is to invert you completely and convert you into a locust. That's why, what is man but a worm? In Job and in the Psalms as well, man is but a worm, because you really are a worm. You just didn't know you were a worm. You're really an insect before you're a human. Now, here is the most mind-boggling thing the Lord's ever let me work on or do. There is a huge insect. See it crawling up over the back of the altar. Look at the leg right here. There's a leg going up, and see the knee bending. There's the knee bending. There's the insect coming up over these long front legs. I'm going to zoom out. Now there you see the long front legs holding the penis in its grip. And then there's the other back leg. There's the bottom foot. There it is. Look at the bent, segmented leg. See the leg right there, bent, segmented, coming down to right there. There you go. There you go. And see the wings going back? There you go. Who could see this? These are the treasures of darkness, secret riches hidden in secret places. Isaiah 45. This is what the Lord showed me. This is what he showed me he wanted me to do. He told me, Jonathan, your time in probation from YouTube, I want you to put rhinestones on this whole thing. I was like, either I've lost my mind or you're telling me to do rhinestones. You know why? Because when you do rhinestones on the shadow of adumbration, look what happens. Look how 3D this thing has become. Look at what you're looking at. Look at that insect coming over the sheep, taking the sheep through the male and female reproductive systems. There's a penis, and you invert it. Those pink miter hats now, those are the ovaries, and then the blue fallopian tubes, and the cervix, uterus, clitoris, and then the opening to the vagina. And this is all done right in front of you. So, what's the truth? You're an angelic being. You come into their system. That's why I put the little red lights. They harvest those. And that window right there that you're looking at right there is that what's in the mouth of that bug right there. That's the window. And there's a giant bug harvesting angels right there. But look, when you get up close, there's another bug, one of the worker bees. There's the worker bee. See it with the eyes, with the eye right there and the eye right there. The mandibles right there, the segmented legs coming over, bending. Look at what it's doing. It's harvesting angelic beings that have crossed over to the other side in the semen. But you got to turn back to God or this thing gets your soul forever. That's what it's after.